Hello! This video has been created for those preparing for their IELTS speaking test. There are two types of videos available, a self-test and a video with answers provided. We wish you the best of luck with your preparation. Do you like the area that you live in? I like the area that I live in. It is very centrally located and it has a lot of fun things to see, such as art galleries and cafes. What are some changes in the area recently? My area is always changing because it's kind of an up-and-coming area. Every few months, there are new stores opening, new cafes and new restaurants. So, I get to try a lot of new things all the time. Also, because it's kind of an up-and-coming area, more of the older buildings are being rebuilt. So right now, there's a lot more construction in my area than there was previously. I think that in the next year or so, my area will have a lot of new things to do. Do you know any famous people in your area? I don't think any famous people live in my area. My area is an up-and-coming area, and it still has a very local kind of vibe. So, some restaurant owners who own some very popular restaurants are well known to local residents. So maybe they're not very famous exactly, but they are very well known in the local area. Where do you like to go in that area? In the area around my house, I usually like to visit cafes and restaurants. Also, my area is quite close to a Han River Park. So I would have to say that the Han River Park is my absolute favorite place to go in my area. It's really great because it's a bit more of a natural area than a concrete jungle. So it gives me some time to relax. Also, the park near my house isn't usually that crowded, so it's pretty easy to find a picnic spot. So, a foreign country I would like to know more about, I think it would probably have to be Italy or Italian culture. Italy is a country in Southern Europe, and I know this country because Italy is one of the most well-known countries for their cuisine. So, I first heard about Italy like I think most people did, through maybe pizza or pasta. Also, Italy is quite famous for their sporting prowess. The Italian soccer team is quite highly ranked, and the Italian rugby team is also quite good. I want to know more about Italy because I have traveled quite a bit in Europe, but still I haven't gotten a chance to visit Italy. And it's one of those countries that I would really like to visit to not only experience its great cuisine, but also see some of its historical sites, such as the Colosseum in Rome. I'm very interested in history, so one of the biggest reasons I would like to go to Italy is to learn more about the history in depth and see the sites and very famous places for myself. Also, Italy has some very unique places like Venice. It's a city with a lot of canals and kind of built on the water. So that would be very unique to see. And also, I heard that the island Sicily is a very tranquil and relaxing place. It seems like the country of Italy has a great variety of things to see, all in one country. Additionally, the Italian language does sound very beautiful, so maybe it would be very good to visit Italy and try to learn a bit of Italian. Also, I would be lying if I didn't say that I wanted to try all of the great Italian food, such as pizza, pasta, and pastries in Italy itself. I would also like to learn traditional methods for how to cook these dishes. I'm quite a foodie, so I think for me this would be one of the most exciting things for me to learn about. I would love to take a tour throughout Italy to see how the cuisine varies from region to region. What do you think is the best way to learn a foreign culture? I think the absolute best way to learn a foreign culture is to spend some time within that country. I think this is the best way because you can see everything firsthand and also get to know people from that culture. If you experience that culture, then you have a higher chance of understanding it and learning its nuances. Therefore, I think the best way to learn a foreign culture is to try and live or stay in that country for a period of time. What do you think is the biggest problem to work in a foreign country? I think one of the biggest problems of working in a foreign country is adapting to the work culture and embracing cultural differences. This is true especially if it is a culture which you are unfamiliar with and is very far removed from your own. Work life in and of itself is challenging and only becomes more challenging when you are dealing with an entirely new system which you have not been raised in. However, this could be a very fulfilling and rewarding experience, and they could help you to become more accepting or more globally minded or even a more well-rounded individual. So yes, it could be the biggest problem, but in the end, I think it could also be a very rewarding experience. Some people say that reading is the best way to know about a culture. Do you agree? I think reading is a good way to know about a culture if you cannot go there yourself. I think a lot of cultural nuances can be embedded in stories through specific vocabulary and through plot lines. But I think to know about the culture more in depth, it is better to go there rather than just read about it.